Welcome back. Today let me tell you about our most greatest and admired leader all over the world for his simplicity and charisma, Gandhiji. Gandhiji's greatest ability was to walk his talk at every level and in every way. India continues to be a nation of many diverse nationalities, but never did they so unanimously identify with another leader as they identified with Gandhiji. And this was across classes and communities which were even more sharply divided than they are these days. Seen as the people's man, he compromised all the luxuries of his life to attain one cause: freedom of India from British rule. Poor people could relate to him. He traveled across the nation only on worst train compartments with leakages, despite being offered better compartments by the attendant. When asked by the attendant as to why he did not take the offer, he said, "Why would you shift me and not other fellows? Are they any less human than me?" This shows he saw equality among one another. He was a great visionary. He always knew that ahimsa, non-violence, and satyagraha, fight for the truth, would bring freedom to the country. He lived for the people and inspired almost everyone in the country to have the spirit of freedom alive in each of the hearts. His strategies were not complex but very simple. Today's story is about a simple strategy which British could have never understood. Going inside the story. The Salt March, also known as the Dandi March, was Salt Satyagraha, an act of civil disobedience. Civil disobedience means disobedience to the state or rules framed by the state. In this story, the civil disobedience was the tax rules of British for salt generation. Gandhiji led the Dandi March from his base, Sabarmati Ashram, near the city of Ahmedabad on March 12, 1930. 78 people began the march with Gandhiji, who intended to walk 240 miles or 390 kilometers to the coastal village of Dandi, which was located at a small town called Navsari in the state of Gujarat. As Gandhiji and the others continued on what would become a 24-day march to Dandi to produce salt without paying the tax, growing numbers of Indians joined them along the way. When Gandhiji broke the salt laws at 6:30 a.m. on April 6, 1930, it sparked large-scale acts of civil disobedience against the British Raj salt laws by millions of Indians. The campaign had a significant effect on changing world and British attitudes towards Indian sovereignty and self-rule, and caused large numbers of Indians to join the fight for the first time. Initially, Gandhi's choice of the salt tax was met with skepticism by the Working Committee of the Congress. Jawaharlal Nehru and Abhilokan Sahu were ambivalent. Sardar Patel suggested a land revenue boycott instead. The Statesman, a prominent newspaper, wrote about the choice. "It is difficult not to laugh, and we imagine that will be the mood of most thinking Indians." The British establishment too was not disturbed by these plans of resistance against the salt tax. The Viceroy himself, Lord Irwin, did not take the threat of a salt protest seriously, writing to London said, "At present the prospect of a salt campaign does not keep me awake at night." However, Gandhiji had sound reasons for his decision. The salt tax was a deeply symbolic choice, since salt was used by nearly everyone in India. An item of daily use could resonate more with all classes of citizens than an abstract demand for greater political rights. Civil disobedience broke out all across India, soon involving millions of Indians, and British authorities arrested more than 60,000 people. Gandhiji himself was arrested on May 5, but the Satyagraha continued without him. In January 1931, Gandhiji was released from prison. He later met with Lord Irwin, the Viceroy of India, and agreed to call off the Satyagraha in exchange for an equal negotiating role at a London conference on India's future. In August, Gandhiji travelled to the conference as the sole representative of the nationalist Indian National Congress. The meeting was a disappointment, but British leaders had acknowledged him as a force they could not suppress or ignore. The morals in story are: 1. Connect with people with simple things, such as salt in this story. 2. Taking action and making action success is killing skepticism. 3. The revolution must have been started by the leader but must go on without him. 4. To make others understand the complexity, keep things simple. 5. Negotiation is more of agree to disagree or disagree to agree. 6. One person's campaign for freedom can make a difference. 7. If the charisma of a leader is strong, you cannot take his campaigns light. 8. A sound reason builds in confidence in leaders. 9. Everyone is equal. I am one among several. 10. A leader who brings unity in diversity is the leader who is understood by all in the same frequency. Thank you. I will bring more such stories which will better your lives. Have a nice day ahead. Stay tuned.